Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wide Open. I've been working on Wide Open Abnormal Investigations. It's good to see everybody tonight. Oh man, we have a pretty deep investigation we're going to talk about tonight. You'll have to excuse my allergies; are terrible. The the pine trees, the fires, everything has me stopped up. So I want to apologize to you guys before we get started if I have the sniffles or if I have to pause it to sneeze or whatever. Andrew, good to see you. Sarah, good to see you. Sharon, guy, good to see you. Thank you for being in here. But I wanted to apologize in advance to make sure that, people don't say all I heard was you sniffling. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is a case that I had trouble letting go myself. I visited this case. It's been a little while back, and whenever I visited the case, I just did not feel like we'd done justice. I feel like it could have went deeper, it could have been better, and it could have been more in depth. I felt like it was lacking conversation. It was lacking crucial details that I have now found after digging into this case. Now, what I am going to, well, I'll do that here in a second when we get further into that. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate everybody. As of last night on our Boots on the Ground, we were live. I believe it was a little under an hour last night. We have achieved on this channel, thanks to, hello, Mr. Herbert. Good to see you, Tim Wrestler, Andrew. We have now achieved on this channel over 31,000 subscribers. Thank you all so very much for that. We have another new case we're going to be doing tomorrow. It is another true factual case. Y'all said you liked my investigation, so we're going to be pushing a lot of those. Hopefully, Sky will be able to join us tomorrow night. Hopefully, Amanda will be able to join us tomorrow night. Speaking of Amanda, moderators, I don't have her backstage. Could you please check on her and make sure she's okay and the link for her and everything is working? Uh, so another thing we have coming up new for the channel, guys, is we have some new locations coming up, some new stories, new encounters, just new places that we're going to be visiting. So it's going to be really cool. We got a lot of those coming on the way. But here's the thing. I have a Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and bring Sky on. Let me go ahead and bring her in here. I'm going to throw her under the bus just right off.
Well, hello.
I'm throwing you under the bus. I'm doing good. You don't even know about this.
Oh boy.
What I'm fixing to say. So,
oh boy.
I've been working on a Patreon behind the scenes, and I think I may have found the answer to something that a lot of us have been asking.
Okay.
Why were the Nephilim and why were the angels not able to be forgiven? And I've been studying it biblically, investigating it. I think I found the answer. And
what?
I can't tell you now. It's for the Patreon. I'm going to leave y'all hanging on that. But I think I found the
love
answer.
it.
I really do. I think I found it. And it's going to be really deep. And of course, YouTube would not let us talk about that on here for sure. But
darn.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It will be good. The members. Sky brought up the other day that she thought that we should do something special for you members. And I think she's right. So we're going to be planning something for the members only. Y'all are going to start getting extra content for being members to the channel. So
yes.
And it looks like Sky, you got a lot of supporters in the chat. A lot of people telling you hello.
Hello. Hello, Lisa.
Oh.
Hello, Blue Bitty. Hello, Keith. Hello, Ghost Hawk.
Some of them are kind of hard. Some of them are kind of hard for me too. There ain't no telling how many names I butcher in a night.
I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to butcher your name. I apologize.
I do it a lot.
We got an interesting case tonight.
Very deep, and I'm glad you brought that up. Have you heard from Amanda? I do not have her backstage.
I have not. She said she was coming on, so where are you at, Amanda?
Is she taking a nap? Does she take a nap? Do you think she's
She
oversleeping?
she might have. She got some time off from some work, so
That
it's
might be it.
possible.
So tonight's subject is not an easy subject. I'm just going to be
No.
straight honest with everybody. I put 6 days into this,
Mm,
preparing it and investigating it, and it was hard for me. Kind of reminded me being back at work. Uh, Anytime you lose a child, it's never easy,
mm-mm.
and especially whenever justice has not been found for that child. It's still,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's an open, unsolved case. So at the end of the show, Sky, I'm gonna throw you under the bus just a little bit again.
Oh
I'm
boy.
gonna let you and Amanda give me your final thoughts at the end
Sure.
and a synopsis of what you think may possibly be the the perpetrator, the reason, whatever you feel like you have enough information to make a good, I guess, theory about it. So, and I'll give you mine too. Um, Again, if you have children in the room, or if you are soft-hearted, not able to deal with things like that, this may not be the show for you. We are going to go deep down the rabbit hole. I mean, there's supernatural to this case. It's a deep one, and
I would say it's one of the biggest stories of Oklahoma's time. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
it is really interesting and out there.
I think it's right up there with the Girl Scout case. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's it just kind of sprinkles a little bit of everything in there, doesn't it?
It does, and at times it has you thinking that you have it all figured out, and then it's like totally just takes a
Takes a
three.
left turn,
Yeah, it's just like, wow, where did that come from?
right?
Hello, Michelle. And the
In respects to the family as well. If a family member's listening or a good friend, nothing but
absolutely,
respect for this wonderful, beautiful family.
absolutely. And here's our background, guys. We're going to be using their family photo as our background tonight as we discuss. Now, why did it do? It's not supposed to do that. Here we go. I think I can fix it. There we go. Thank you, Tim. Is that Tim? Make sure it's Tim. Okay, not Tina. Thank you, Tim, for that. God bless you for that. Thank you very much for that. uh, Actually, I spoke to Sky, and she thought it would be appropriate, her and Sharon, to use the family as the backdrop for this. So,
Hmm.
just out of respect for the family.
Hi, sunshine. Glad you made it.
Uh-oh, we got sunshine in here tonight. I got some
Yeah,
heavy.
critiquing.
Yeah, she's gonna be judging me tonight. She
Oh
always
yeah.
does. Is Herbert here?
I have not seen him yet.
Oh man, I'd hate to have to
There's
face her and
Tim.
Herbert. That
The
would be
smart
bad.
cookies of the group. Well, everybody's
Yes.
smart, but they're the
So it looks like we're
well-educated.
gonna. Oh yeah, and I'm sure and I know Sunshine for sure. They're very opinionated.
Oh, for
So
sure.
we'll see how that goes. So I got some notes over here. I've got notes typed out. So whenever you're ready, Sky, let's plead our case.
So no Amanda yet.
No, Amanda. I don't know if the moderators have heard from her or not.
Hopefully Sharon's looking for her.
Sharon will find her.
Yeah, she will.
Sunshine, I'm not trying to ditch you. Not trying to ditch you. Not hiding. Not hiding. Uh, Tomorrow night show, guys, we will do it at. I'll have to get with Sky and see if she's free tomorrow and what time, but probably later. It'll be a later show. Are you free tomorrow, Sky? Do you know yet?
Yes, after. Let's see. Oh gosh, my schedule is crazy. You know that. Uh, yes, we will talk.
We will talk.
We will talk.
We talk. We talk a lot.
We do talk a
We
lot.
we have the gift to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So let me open this up real quick, and there we go. So the family we're going to be talking about tonight is, I know, Sunshine. I know. I'm going to be in trouble. The subject we're going to be talking about tonight is the Jamison family of Eufaula, Oklahoma, here in the United States. If you're watching outside of the country, Bobby Jamison and his wife Cheryl Lynn and their daughter Madison mysteriously disappeared on or after October 8th, 2009. The family was reported considering the purchase of a 40-acre plot of land near Red Oak, about 30 miles from Eufaula. At the time they vanished, their suspected remains were found in November of 2013 and positively identified by the Oklahoma Medical Examiner on June 3rd, 2014. No cause of death was determined, and the circumstances surrounding their disappearance remain unknown, and the case remains opened. So, for a lot of you that do not know, on a lot of these cases that are not solved, they are left opened. And there's a reason, and this is just my opinion. I make sure I don't get myself in trouble. If you leave a case opened, it's unsolved, then you're not able to file a FOIA on it and be able to get the information on the case. It is a good way for agencies to keep the public from gaining information on investigations that they don't want out. So one of the back doors around that is to leave a case opened. That way you're unable to file a FOIA on that case.
Interesting.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's the
it's
Freedom of Information Act, if anybody's wondering. I'm sure most of you know what that is, but
right.
anybody
And
can file that.
yes. And I forget to say it, so that's another good thing, guys. Here, she will break down my stuff for you so you understand what I'm talking about. She's my
Mm,
interpreter.
there we go.
So, is there anything you want to add to that, Sky, before we jump into the actual disappearances, the deaths?
Yeah, just that's a very short little synopsis of it. There's obviously so much more that kind of leads up to it and during and after, I think. And and there's so many different versions of the story, and like you said, we can't we can't get the report on it because it's still an open case. So, what are all the facts to this case? That's the question. There's so many different stories of it, but um is anybody able, I guess no, you can't get a discovery on it either. Would you? Would you be able to do that? I don't even know. I guess it wouldn't I mean there is no discovery because it didn't go to court, did it?
No, because no charges were filed, and I think another thing that would make this case really hard to investigate, as far as being a civilian, would be not only the fact that they left it open, but also that we have a minor child involved, which would also probably, presumably, cause the case to be sealed. So,
Yes. And harder to get. Absolutely.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
would be a lot of red tape to be able to get information on this case for sure.
exactly. Exactly.
Now, I'm going to admit something tonight on the show. I do have inside information on this case. It is not anything that I'm not supposed to have, but it is things that is not opened and given to the public. So I want to thank some of my old friends that are still working. Thank you very much for giving me that opportunity to be able to use those resources. So thank you very much. Hello, Mousy. Uh, so when you first heard about this story, Sky, what was your first thoughts initially? What did you think whenever you first heard about the story? What was your thoughts?
What in the paranormal is going on?
Paranormal? See, I
Yeah.
went I went kind of opposite of that.
Did you? Okay, I'm interested to hear your side.
The first thing I thought actually whenever I heard it is I thought, and I'm not being disrespectful, I'm just giving an honest first opinion of, what I heard, is I honestly thought drug deal gone bad and possible mental illness. That was what I thought. That there was some mental illness going on, and it
Yes,
was
that
possibly, a bad drug deal.
Cheryl Lynn was diagnosed bipolar,
Right.
and I think they were kind of like in their 40s, I believe, at the time of their disappearance. Was there drug use used in the home? Was there any allegations of that?
There was allegations, and we're going to dive deep into that here in a little bit. And I think you're going to be surprised by the outcome of what I found. I actually was able to get a hold of the police reports on the investigation.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, see, I got a little bit of reach out there now.
Sounds like it. Good for
Yeah,
you.
my partners gave me. I have limited information, but more information than what people can look at. And I think you're going to enjoy it
Good.
because when I read it, I stayed up all night reading it. I was like, wow, I had no idea. It also made me feel like what a butt for thinking things that I thought because I was so far off on this case. So
Yeah.
we'll start venturing into this case a little bit. So the Jamison family, like we established earlier, they were from Eufaula, Oklahoma. And again, they had traveled approximately 30 miles to Red Oak in the and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Sans Boyas. Is that right? Does that sound
Sandboy.
SANS? Is it
Sandboy
Samboy?
Mountains.
Okay,
I think I think
that's
that's what
why.
it is.
That's why I have you here. See, guys, I keep an educated
Mm-hmm.
person on here for a reason. So, so the Sandboy Mountain Range, because Bobby and Cheryl were considering buying a 40-acre plot there. They planned to live in a storage shed that they already owned on the land. Uh, Most people hearing that are probably going to think, oh my God, they're moving out there to live in a storage shed. But if you have seen some of these revamped storage sheds, they're really
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Right. One
Um,
with all that land too. Think of all the possibilities. And they didn't, yeah, that's right. And they couldn't afford to build a house at the moment. So they were just going to put their storage shed on this plot.
right. And, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, if they're in love with each
No.
other and it keeps
I
the
think that's
rain off
awesome.
of them, and
Yep,
they can be together, that's the main thing.
absolutely. And it was a beautiful piece of land.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I'd love to be out there by myself. Yeah,
Mm,
Andrew, that's right. They are very nice. So Bobby and Sherilyn visited the associate of the landowner, and when the meeting was done, the family parked up, packed up, and went for a short walk around the land for approximately 15 minutes. Now they had met the owner to this, I guess, prior. Nothing had happened, nothing unusual. They took their GPS unit with them, and they found a quiet spot on the hillside. After they returned to their vehicle, they drove a little further, and then the truck was left locked in the middle of a dirt road, and that's when the family vanished.
right, because their
So,
stuff was in the truck with the dog
yes,
Maisie.
yes.
And So they went to go look at the land. They came back to put or to get their like phones because they did take pictures while they were out there. And so they left all their things like their wallets and purses and other things, but they did have their phones with them. They did grab their phones and then left the dog in the truck and they went back. Is that what you
That's
read?
yeah, that's right. You're right on. And
Okay.
a lot of people thought that it was well, out of the ordinary. Well, we'll say out of the ordinary right now.
Right.
So,
Because the money for the land was also in the truck.
yes, yeah, cash.
And you're not going to walk and you're not going to be that far from your truck and you're not going to if you're going to leave your dog in your truck because the windows were rolled up, the doors were locked, which that was odd because the keys were in the ignition as well. What is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So that was odd. That was very odd. And then but they had their phones and then they're out there taking pictures of themselves and their daughter.
Right. And
Okay.
um,
So I just want you guys to paint that picture of
yes.
what's going on with them.
And I'm going to paint a little different picture here in just a little bit on what you said. And I'm so glad you did that because I'm going to want your opinion on that. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, this is turning out better than I thought because you're setting up what I'm going to go into really well. So, the way they found the vehicle, as far as other investigations that I have done, it's indicative that whenever a vehicle is locked and the keys are locked inside of it with personal things inside of it, that is most of the time done for two reasons. Number one, the people have been abducted and the dog was placed inside of the vehicle and their belongings were secured in there by a third party. Number two, another reason that you might find a vehicle like that would be somebody that planned to do self harm to theirself and not return and had no reason to re enter the vehicle. So, those are just some things I want y'all to also just think about as we go down this.
Right.
I'm
And what
not
are your opinions on it?
mine.
Well, the chats,
Oh yeah,
like
I was
what
starting
does
to say
everybody think?
I could give a
Yeah.
big one, but I've read all of it, so it wouldn't be fair for me
No,
to
I
do it
want to
right
hear
now.
yours.
Oh, you'll get everything at the end. I'm going to give it all to you. You're going to get
Great.
everything right at the
Yeah.
end.
Such a crazy story.
So here's where we get into this is before the disappearance. Okay, so it gets weird, guys. I'm not going to lie. This is a weird one. The family suffered from some health issues. Now, I'm not going to say that people that have bipolarism, OCD, anxiety, depression, any of that would cause you to do what was done here. That is not what we're saying. I'm not advocating that. Millions of people struggle with these things each and every day in America, and they function
Absolutely.
and act properly. So that's not what we're
Right.
saying here.
Right.
Um, a car accident in 2003 involving Bobby left him with chronic back pain. Sherilyn suffered from bipolar disorder and had been prescribed medication to attempt to control her symptoms. Despite this, she experienced bouts of severe depression. The marriage was said to be in a bad state, and the family kept to themselves, preferring not to socialize with other neighbors. So I would guess a lot of their problems were probably over money, and I hate that because I refuse to fight over money. I will not fight over money. That's the one thing I will not fight over is money. I just never have. It just doesn't make
Right.
sense to me.
Right. It's the root of all evil, is what they say, right?
Right. I mean, as long as you got each other, that's all that matters. And you got something to eat, something to keep the rain off your head, right?
Can I add to that really quick?
Absolutely.
So that's what I was reading that um the pair were having marriage difficulties, but they were pretty much keeping it to themselves. And prior to them even going out there, they were having problems with the neighbors as well. and trying just to keep to themselves. And there were, the bouts of bipolar. She was starting to write some strange things on the storage container that they were supposed to later take out there, about people poisoning her cats, accusing people of just doing odds and ends things, and just really kind of off, strange behavior from the Cheryl Lynn.
Wasn't it even like alleged that she was a witch?
Yes,
That was an allegation that was made against her, and that they were killing the witch's cats. And didn't she write on the container, "Witches don't like their cats killed," or something like that? Poisoned,
yes,
something like that.
yes.
So it goes even further too. And feel free to jump in anytime, Sky. That's why I got you here. You're awesome. So
Oh,
you don't even have to ask. Just go for it. You're the co-host. That
well, thank you.
I enjoy that because, I mean, you're spot on. In July 2009, Cheryl Lynn's ex-husband from her first marriage took custody of their son Colton. And in September, Cheryl Lynn was hospitalized following a failed suicide attempt. So
Oh, poor
th-
thing.
they're going through a lot right now.
Right.
A lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of no money, your child,
Mental illness,
very very dark.
probably addiction to maybe a pain medicine, you know,
Oh yeah.
on top of that. And, having a small child in the mix of all that as well, that's got to be really hard.
And she just there's some weird things we're going to get into here in a little bit that I don't understand myself, and I'm sure it's going to really I don't. So during their
Yeah,
custody
we haven't
hearing,
even taken the left turn yet.
no, 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 not at all, because even during their custody, right, their custody hearing,
And this is for the
uh,
son, right?
yeah, the 12-year-old son Colton,
Okay, now this was Cheryl Lynn's son.
yes,
Okay.
um, she said he would, or he stated that he would prefer to live with his father. And he gave a statement about his mother, claiming that she had seemed very depressed and that she often acted strangely. Colton saw her 2 weeks before the family's disappearance, and he said that she made no mention of their plans to move to the Sandboy area. Now,
Interesting.
okay, this is where you're going to get the investigative part of me. A
Right?
lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I'm only going to state things that I have witnessed myself in cases and that I've had to do. So, okay, here we go. I'm just going to go down the road. Sky, get ready. Cut me off anytime you need to say something, or if you want to
No,
add
you're
to it,
fine.
or disagree. Or so, based on what I've learned, what I don't like about this case right here is I feel like they're given too much. Oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble for this. They're given too large of a foundation to a 12-year-old to be able to make adult decisions and to base his assumptions and theories as practical and as absolute. And what I mean by that, and I'll break that down, is you have a 12-year-old son that is making a statement saying that his mother seemed so very depressed, and she was acting strangely, and she may have been. I'm not saying she wasn't. She may have been, but we also have to realize this 12-year-old boy's dad was also seeking full custody of him. At that
Bingo.
age,
Bingo.
they are very impressionable.
Right.
And when you encircle a child that has a brain that is not fully developed, and they have adults
Which is their frontal
insinuating
lobe.
things, absolutely, and they're insinuating things to him over time, as it is repeated over and over and over. And Sunshine,
Did you
please
like that?
correct me if I'm wrong.
Sunshine, did you like that? The frontal lobe.
That's what I'm waiting for. Sunshine, correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, if I'm on the stand right now, Sunshine, this is your chance. when a child at that age is told a lie consistently over and over, and not only, by probably his father or by others. Amanda, there you are. You're not backstage. You're supposed to be on with us. Uh, they believe it. They start to believe that it really happened. So I believe that there is the possibility that this child could have been bribed, that
Right.
uh, he could have been just what's the word I'm looking for? He could have been manipulated.
Manipulated because, it's better to live with dad than it is with than when
Right,
with mom because they're missing. He doesn't know where she is.
right,
There's a possibility of her returning, and he needs to be believing that the dad's going to be the better fit.
right. And mom's crazy. Mom's on
Mom's
medication.
mom's
Mom tried to kill
crazy.
herself,
Right. Yep.
So, that's just opportunity to be able to tell the child, oh, you're safer living with me, even though the father probably has no idea what the mother is going through. Oh, here we go. Even adults will do the very same thing. Repetition is absolute for brainwashing. Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate that. Uh, that was my unprofessional opinion, and that from Sunshine would be a professional opinion. So, I think that something's off, Sky. I think something's off. I think the child knows that something's off, but I think that they're putting too large of an emphasis on the child's statement right now,
Yes, I
this
agree.
early in the case. Um,
100% agree.
you know,
You have to
I
take that with a grain of salt because,
right,
because of the custody issues. You have to keep that in mind.
right, because we know that the truth is hardly ever heard in those. So we take that into consideration. So then we go over. And this is another thing that I found. Hey, Herbert, there. Oh, no, there's Herbert. Herbert and Sunshine. Oh, gosh. So we go over and let's just move on to this. So Bobby and Sherilyn spoke to a local pastor, guys. Here we go. So to kind of set the story up, we have a mother that has a new husband, a stepdad, that has a disability. They're fighting. They have mental illness, attempted suicide, and a lot
Possible
of
addiction.
possible addiction, and a lot of darkness goes along with that in
And
a
I say
house.
that because there was alleged drug use,
Absolutely, yes.
methamphetamines, I believe. Oh, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. I
You're,
apologize.
you're right. You're right. That was in the report.
Hmm.
So we have all of this going on. So that was what I first heard, and that's why I made my opinions so fast as to what I thought it possibly could be until it takes this turn. So Bobby and Sherilyn, they go to their local pastor about their belief that dark spirits invaded their home and that an exorcism might be needed. Now, this was because Madison, their daughter, had started talking to an imaginary friend named Emily. And Sherilyn believed Emily was an evil entity. At one point, Bobby asked the pastor if he knew of anywhere he could purchase special bullets to shoot a handful of demons whom he said were living on the roof of his family's home.
Sounds pretty crazy.
So, my question would be, do you believe at this point, and guys, this story is going to twist and turn, so hang with us, please. I promise. It's a good one. It's going to get better. And I'm going to ask Sky,
Yes.
do you believe that Is Amanda not able to make it on? Did something happen? I haven't seen anything. I've seen her in chat. Do you believe they had entities in their home? Do you believe that they could have possibly have been hallucinating on things they shouldn't have been doing? Or do you believe that that could have been just a mental disorder causing them to believe that that was going on? What is your thoughts at this
That
point?
is a extremely good question. And, you know, I think, and the police will never admit this or talk about it, or if the FBI got involved, which they probably did, because if there's a missing child, the FBI is automatically involved. So you have to keep that in mind. And they do have their own paranormal uh, team. I think it was both. And the reason why I think it's both is because Cheryl Lynn had a very good friend who seemed completely normal. She swore up and down that that house was haunted. So you've got mom and dad, even I think grandma at one point, which is Sherilyn's mother, and Sherilyn's best friend, all saying that that house was haunted. So, with that in mind, yeah, I I think that there was something going on paranormal.
So you're all,
Possibly.
so you believe at this point that we're headed in an actual demons may be affecting the case. Is that what you think, or do you think demons are the sole problem here, or do you think
I
that there is
do.
a darkness that invited him in, or do you think that that's what
I
caused him?
think I think that really bad M word that people do invites that in.
Right.
And I think that that's was a cause of very serious and bad haunting that was going on.
Right.
Um,
Well,
yes,
Jesus warns us, to be of sober mind.
yes. And then on top of that,
Right.
but you know, and Sunshine would obviously know this, but with bipolar people, they can have schizophrenia and hallucinate. They can that can be a side symptom of being bipolar. So it makes it really hard to believe that, but because you've got other witnesses involved now, then yes, I still believe that it's a very good possibility.
I agree.
What's this
Um,
question on is-
yeah, I agree. We're going to go down that
Yeah,
path,
Sunshine.
um, and Blue Biddy, I don't know if they had it checked for that or not, but I think in a little bit you're going to find out that it probably didn't matter about that. So, and maybe a little of both. The M word, people see tree people, and Herbert's exactly right. But I believe that I'm going to be able to build a case, Herbert and Sunshine, that Herbert will hopefully agree with me on, because I know that Herbert's background, been a retired judge, that he has very high, I'm sure, expectations of investigators. So, so Bobby and Cheryl Lynn spoke to the local pastor about their belief that dark spirits had invaded their home and that they may need an exorcism. Now, I want y'all to take note right now. I'm going to take note too, okay? Because
So now the
this is going to.
pastor's saying there's something going on here and let's get an exorcism going.
No, 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 no. This is what Bobby and Cheryl Lynn wanted. They said they think
Okay,
they need an exorcism.
gotcha.
Okay. Now, I want you all to remember this, because I'm going to use this at the end of this show, and I'm going to try to make it make sense to you, because this caught my attention as I was investigating this case. And I hope that there may be an investigator that is, and I'm not saying I know everything, but I hope there's an investigator that's involved in this case actually watches this show, because I think I'm going to be able to lay out a pretty good uh, theory as to what happened. So, Bobby was also planning on trying to exorcise the spirits in the house with the help of a copy, and this is a problem, guys. This is a huge problem. They're trying to exorcise satanic spirits out of their house, but Bobby goes and buys a satanic Bible and tries to use a satanic Bible to get rid of demons out of the household.
Oh my goodness.
So that's not going to work. I mean, you can't,
Mm,
what did Jesus say? You cannot repay evil with evil. I mean, you
mhm.
can't bring something evil in to get rid of evil.
Right.
Evil's only overcome by good. So I think I agree with what you said earlier, Sky, that the spirits are there. I believe the spirits have manifested and probably either attached or possessed one of the individuals.
Mhm.
And I believe at this point they are being influenced by supernatural beings that have now pushed him to go buy a satanic Bible to bring it into the home and to practice that Bible inside of that home. So, whenever you do that, you're going to cause an opening inside of your home, not only for the demons that are there now, but for the ones that they're connected to also come in. I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts on
Oh,
him trying to do it that way?
100%. Yes. If you bring stuff like that into your home, or you bring even a Ouija, something as simple as a Ouija board, you could buy at Toys R Us at one time. Can you believe that? Hey, kids, let's get a Ouija board.
Merry Christmas. The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that just really, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
can you imagine?
Mm.
But yeah, you bring something like that into your home, you you're going to have to suffer the consequences because demons are around us all the time and they're always sitting on our shoulder trying to get us to do the wrong thing, the bad thing, say the wrong thing, say the bad thing constantly. And I think that really opens it up and makes the veil thinner, and and I think they were very much attached to these people.
I
Yes.
I agree. And anytime you're dealing with demonic
That poor little
influence,
girl. Mhm.
oh yeah, then you have and that's that's what bothered me so much in this case. It just breaks your heart because she's stuck right in the middle of this.
Yes.
And God, you make me start crying if I think about this case. Is hard for me because I've seen some bad things in my life that have happened. My job, I've seen some things, heard some things, talked about cases, and
Right.
you have to imagine what was she seeing through her little eyes? What was
Right.
happening in her home that she had no control over?
Absolutely, because these demonic forces, they will mimic
Right.
children pretending to play, pretending to be her friend. I just, ugh,
It's and then out of all of this, the
exactly,
little the
sunshine.
little the little girl ends up with an entity that becomes her little friend. So even when you look at the cryptids now, the Nephilim, the Eliod, the supernatural beings, they target the children. So now you have her mom and dad that are supposed to be her protectors bringing in entities that are there to target their own child. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to ruin what I'm going to say at the end of the show, but I believe this child was targeted from the very beginning. Um,
Right.
I hope I make sense to you guys at the end of the show whenever I give you my little synopsis. So, a friend, and this is where it gets good here. Now, I'm going to share a little bit of the police report with y'all with this section right here. So, you should really like this guy. I know you're into this. So, a friend of Sherilyn's told the police that sometimes uh, Sherilyn would conduct seances with this friend. She said Sherilyn took them much more seriously than she did. Now, Sherilyn had also written graffiti on the storage container about the black cats being poisoned as she believed that someone from the neighborhood had killed her cats. And also that witches do not like it when their cats were killed. So, whenever I pulled the police report on this, and you look at the witness statement form, her friend absolutely, this is what's scary, her friend
Wow,
absolutely
Herbert.
believed
I believe it.
that there was
Um,
spirits in her house. And her
right.
friend actually stated she witnessed supernatural phenomenons happen in the home. She witnessed
Wow.
this.
Wow.
Uh, both
That's
friends,
interesting.
there was another friend too, and both friends and even family agreed with the Jamisons that their home was haunted. And a few, even family members, experienced odd things that went on inside of the home. So there's some bad things going on already
Mm-hmm.
inside of this home. What happened? Did I miss something with Herbert?
Oh, he was talking about before he was a judge, he was I think he
Oh, I lost you. We might have lost Sky for just a second, guys. She'll be back. I see people sorry for Herbert and prayers for Herbert, but I missed what had happened. I apologize. Is Amanda back? Absolutely, Herbert. I do too. A lot of evil people out there too. I'm sure you know real well. Did we lose you, Sky? Yeah, it looked like she dropped out. She'll be back. Uh, Amanda, did you get your link to be able to come on the show? You should be there. I sent you the link before the show, and I also sent it to the other chat that we're in. If you need help getting on, you can jump right in the middle of this. Yeah, Herbert, prayers for you, man. Absolutely.
can you hear me?
But yeah, little bit. There you are. You're kind of breaking in and out.
So sorry. Every time I get a phone call, it interrupts the podcast. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No, I had just missed what Tim had said. I couldn't see what he had said. I seen everybody was praying for him.
Oh, prayers for Tim.
So, and I was talking to Amanda. She was in chat. I didn't know if she was coming on or not. She disappeared on me again. I don't see her. She has the link though. She should have the link. Uh, I don't know if I should share the name or not. I found the name of Sherilyn's friend. Do you think I should share it or not share it?
Does it say it publicly if you find it on like online
I have not seen it publicly. I found it in my other
report?
search. Yeah.
Okay, probably not then. Just say friend.
Okay. So Sherilyn's best friend said, but in all seriousness, this is her statement. That house was haunted. I
For
don't want to
sure.
sound crazy,
Sunshine.
but whenever I went there, I felt a horrible presence. I would
Mm,
leave feeling so down, so depressed, and like something needed to be washed off of me.
demonic.
Yeah.
That heavy feeling of yeah, demonicness.
So there is something evil. I mean, have you ever been to a house where you felt like that? You felt like, oh my God, this place
It's
don't feel
heavy.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, I visited a really old house in Mississippi one time and it was so heavy in there. Heavy,
Oh
heavy, heavy.
wow.
And the piano played by itself. So that was definitely something going on in there.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Time to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Time to run. So during their initial absence, none of her friends and family felt any cause for concern. That's what's weird to me. Bobby and Cheryl Lynn were known to occasionally disappear off the radar, and Madison had already been pulled out of school. So, a lot of people would look at that and they'd say, well, that's, she pulled the kid out of school. Everybody should be looking, blah, 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 blah. But not absolutely, because a lot of people nowadays, they pull their children out of school. They place them in homeschool. They do homeschooling. So
Absolutely.
probably not really a big thing. And if they live the way that they said they lived, if they didn't really talk to a lot of people, they enjoyed their peace and quiet and away from everybody. I mean, if you say they're suspicious, then I'm suspicious too, because I don't like to be around people either. I have a very small circle,
Yep.
you know, and uh, Kristen is in that circle. She's in my small circle.
I am. Thank you.
You are.
You're in my small
There's
circle.
Amanda. I'm
Amanda.
glad to be there. Hello, Amanda.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hi.
We could hear you.
Okay, good.
Good to see
I just
you.
didn't want to interrupt in the middle of it because I accidentally took a nap and I slept a little bit longer than I was supposed to.
I called
Good.
it.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit. I woke up at 4:15. I was like,
Yep, she's on a
no.
different time zone than we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add, Amanda, before we keep on going down this road, or?
Nope. I've been listening, but not right this second.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Well, so
Huh?
Mike,
Yeah.
I do want to add something, and I don't know if this has. Oh, is there an echo?
Hello.
Okay, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. So before they even leave,
Oh, it's echoing on your side, Amanda. It's showing you have an echo.
I turned off my mic to see if that would help, but there shouldn't be an echo. I don't know what the echo would be from.
Let's see if there's one. Is there one now? Try now, Sky.
Sky?
Uh
Oh
oh.
no.
she must have got another phone call. So we'll wait for her question to come up. So, what do you think, Amanda, about this case? Do you think that? Do you believe this case is all supernatural? Do you believe that it is just
Mental illness?
mental illness? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. Because I think that these people are seeing something, but whether it's real or not is just a different question.
I think that they brought in a lot of bad things when they brought that satanic Bible into their home.
Yeah.
I think that they started bringing in things that they shouldn't have been messing with. I think that when you create an opening like that, you pretty much create a doorway, and
Yeah, I agree.
they're already fighting, right? So they're already not happy. There's already that, I'm upset. There's that darkness. There's the fighting. There's the depression. There's the mental illness. There's everything else is going on. And then
Yeah.
they go out and they do the worst thing they could do. They buy a satanic Bible and bring it home.
Yeah.
I think that just added fuel
To the fire.
to, absolutely that they already had going on.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
and with that many, witnesses, and Herbert will know exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever you have witnesses that corroborate allegations, then you start moving up into the probable cause area, because now you have corroboration, you have witnesses, you have people that are, experiencing the same thing. You have more than one person saying it. So I think that there's definitely a malevolence going on here, a malevolent
Yeah.
activity. And I think that they invited it in by their own. I'm not saying they were bad people. They were just having a hard time like everybody else. It's just they went down the wrong path and invited things in that probably, added fuel to the fire of what was going on.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's sad that they have a minor child in the home that's having to live with this. Can you imagine being this little kid
No,
and you have this little entity and its name is Emily, and it's trying to be your friend and it's following you around the house, and
that'd be terrifying. But obviously, she wasn't afraid of it, was she?
I think it was her friend. She ended up calling it her little best friend.
Oh, that's sad too.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just we have to be careful at what we allow into our lives, not only whenever when we're down, but any time in our life, that what we allow to come into our lives and to affect us. And
Yes, we do.
I believe she was 11 years old, Herbert. It is just it's a travesty. um, I hate it. It sucks, and you never know what she had to go through.
True.
That little kid from Friday's Boots on the Ground. Yeah, Mr. McGee, that is true. I believe that was demonic also, no doubt. They love to portray themselves as children. And I don't know why they do that. It may be because children are a way that causes adults to,
React.
yeah, and to feel sorry for them, to want to protect them,
Yeah, help them.
yeah, because it does make you want to help them, right?
Yeah.
Because when I'm out there, even though I know it's not a child, we still hear that help me, help me, help me. And it makes me want to go help the child. Even though I know that it's not that, I just, it's instinct to hear a child say, help me. And it makes you want to go and find out and see what it is. And it's probably not the best idea to do that. I was hoping we could have stayed out last night longer than what we did, but the storms were just rolling in. I was hoping to have another lightning storm investigation, and then I started thinking, too bad we're not at that back bridge where we had the other lightning storm investigation. So there's no telling what we missed out on there, huh?
True.
The story took place, Donna. The actual story came out around 2009, and then their bodies were discovered in 2013. And we're going to talk about that too. There was something, Sunshine, I know, is waiting on me to get to this one part. There is something strange that went on with one of the bodies that they found. I mean, this case didn't even stop whenever they found the body. And it just continued. So it's going to get darker as we go, guys, for sure. And it just keeps twisting. And these are actual reports. I mean, these are actual reports. So it's something that this little girl should have never have had to live through. It's something she should have never have had to face. It's sad that she had to. And it's sad that she had to live through it. And it's sad that it ended up costing her her life. It's not fair.
It's sad for the whole family, really.
Yes, it's not fair at all. And Herbert's right. Herbert's exactly right. If parents do not, pay attention to their children, the kids,
We'll find something. Yep.
they will.
They'll make
It's
up
sad.
an imaginary friend or.
And, I even think that when a child has an imaginary friend and they give that imaginary friend so much of their feelings, so much of their time, and they start giving it place,
Yep.
does that cause a manifestation of a demon? Is that what happens? I think so. I think it can.
So too. Me too.
I believe that they can absolutely manifest something. I believe that if you concentrate on something long enough, you can manifest evil.
Yep.
Uh, it's not, I don't know, it's just not fair. So I don't know where Sky's at, when she'll be back. So let's go ahead and go just a little bit further. Uh, During their initial absence, their family didn't even think it was weird that they just kind of disappeared and went off the map. Now, on Saturday, here you go. Here's a time for you, Donna, right here. On Saturday, October 17th of 2009, hunters on dirt bikes ran across the Jamison's abandoned truck in Latimer County, northwest of Red Oak. At that time, they called the police to report a vehicle. Initially, the police assumed it had been stolen, as the report suggested the truck had only been on the roadside for just a few hours. Though later that day, the same hunter called back to confirm to the police that it had been abandoned for several days. So, did the police miss an opportunity to possibly catch what was going on at that time? Probably not, since the truck had been there for several days. I don't think they missed anything. I believe that if they would have investigated further, they probably, maybe, possibly could have had closure sooner. Um,
True.
I think a lot of times police will pass something off as not important because they don't want to do the paperwork. They look at it as, okay, it's a stolen truck. If it's here in a couple of days, we'll come out, we'll inventory it, and then we'll have it towed and take care of it. They don't want to go into the whole, we're missing people and bringing in the search teams. And, you know, a lot of these local sheriffs, municipalities, police officers, the chief of police and all them, if you watch even some of these other shows, like where they go and find the vehicles underwater, I don't have, I'm not going to say his name, but if you notice, the police are not happy when they find these people. They're actually upset because now they have to do their job. That's frustrating to me. So it was about an hour's drive from the Jamison home in Eufaula, and despite an extensive search of the area around the truck, the family was nowhere to be seen. Now, I think that's interesting that they said there was an extensive search around the truck. So the key word in this is around the truck. Extensive could be searching 10 yards around the truck. They never gave a distance of how far they searched, if they used helicopters or if they used hounds, if they brought in search and rescue, CERT teams or anything like that. So we really don't know how far they actually searched for this family. Now, I wish Sky was here because I want to get you and Sky into this conversation.
I know. Where'd she go?
I don't know. We're going to have to find her.
Sky, get back here.
We'll have to get Sharon on her. Because there's something, Herbert, that I caught, and I don't want to say this until Sky comes back, because Herbert, I think you're going to really like, and I think that it's going to cause a lot of questions for everybody, but there was something that made a whole lot of sense. Well, it didn't make sense to me, but I think it was an important question that was never asked, and I think it should have been asked, and I don't know why it wasn't asked. To me, it's almost common sense that we would have asked this question, because to me, this shows something to me that we take some notes. Let me see here. We got a message. Okay, I think, yeah, they're checking. So let's talk about the search, Amanda, until she comes back. So,
Okay.
and Herbert, to answer your question, no, none of the family even asked about them, where they were at. They said it was very weird, or not weird, that they would disappear. That was kind of norm for them. So
To disappear like that
yeah, they said sometimes they would just go off of the.
off the grid.
Yeah, they would just disappear, and sometimes it could be for a few days, a few weeks, to even a few months.
Wow.
So it wasn't really that wild. And you're right, Herb. The only dumb question is the one that's not asked. But Herb, coming from your background and from my background and what we used to do, there is something that happened that I just don't know why they didn't look at this. It looks to me like it would have been one of the first questions that would have been asked, and I just don't understand why it wasn't asked. Because I know it's what I would have asked, especially knowing the end of the report, knowing what had happened. No, I don't believe that's what happened, Charity. I think a lot of people thought that, but I think I can prove that theory wrong, and that's going to be my goal at the end of this, is to prove that that's actually not correct. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a step forward here. So Latimer County Sheriff Israel Beauchamp initially thought the truck had been stolen, but soon realized something more serious had occurred. He launched a massive search operation. Here we go. This is where we actually get the information. He launched a massive search operation and combed the area with over 400 volunteers, horses, mules, ATVs, 16 teams of cadaver dogs. 16 teams, guys, of cadaver dogs. That's huge.
That's a lot.
And and an unnamed drone. They found absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
So during the searches, the cadaver dog teams repeatedly found scents near a nearby water tower, which was promptly drained, though no evidence concerning the missing child could be found. Police searched the truck and found Bobby and Cheryl Lynn's cell phones, $32,000 in cash, maps, and a GPS, Cheryl Lynn's purse and wallets. In addition, they found the family's thirsty and malnourished dog called Maisie. The vehicle was in working order, had fuel, and had not been in any kind of an accident. So, what does that tell you?
That they stopped there on their own.
She's back.
Yay!
There she
I'm
is.
so sorry.
Hi, Sky.
Hi.
I was waiting on you, Sky, because I'm going to throw something to you and Amanda and Herbert, everybody in chat, and Sunshine. So I have a question. Okay. You're going to get to see the investigator side of me. So the vehicle was called in. The police went and searched it by this hunter, right? So the police go and look at the vehicle. They take a look at the vehicle and they say, well, the vehicle's been stolen because it's sitting out here on the dirt road, It's just a stolen vehicle. But the police checked it out, right? So how did the police miss this? That there was a live dog inside of that vehicle.
Did they tow it and not realize that the dog Maisie was in the car?
They left the vehicle there because they thought that it had been stolen and only left there for a few hours, when in fact it had been there for a few days. If they looked at that vehicle as an investigator or even as a patrol officer,
Poor dog.
they should have noticed a live dog inside of a truck.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, that's one of the things I caught that just does not make sense to me. Either, oh God, I don't even want to go down that trail, but either they didn't do their job proficiently and they just said, "Hey, it's been stolen. We'll call a wrecker in a few days, and we'll haul it out, inventory it, or whatever." Or they knew
Sounds
what was
like
going on.
lazy police work to me,
Yeah, or they knew what was going on.
right?
Maybe they're part of the problems in that area because the cult's supposed to be pretty thick in that area. I'm not saying they are. I'm just throwing out possibilities that
Yep. Lots of possibilities. I mean, nobody knows the answers, so the possibilities are endless.
right. But I know that if I was their captain, their sergeant, their corporal, that I would be pretty pissed off if one of my officers went out there and I found out, no fingerprints, Tim. They didn't even fingerprint it. I would be pretty, and that's what I was getting ready to get at, is I'd be pretty pissed off if my officer went out there and did not fingerprint a possible stolen vehicle. He didn't inventory it. He missed a live dog inside of it. I mean, come on,
What
dude.
negligence?
What are
What
you doing?
negligence?
Right. What are you doing?
Wasn't there also a handgun that was in the truck
On
as
the
well?
seat?
Okay, so there was a 22 caliber handgun.
Okay.
Now, this handgun, I'm glad you brought that up because this handgun ends up being in several different reports. One of the reports is they had a live-in man living with them that was kind of like a caretaker. And Cheryl Lynn had pulled the gun on him at one point in time because he tried to have a relationship with her. There is another report that the handgun was never Cheryl Lynn's, that it was a guy that lived there, and they ended up evicting him. He left the gun. They took the gun. And then it comes back in another report and says that it was Bobby's gun. So, unfortunately, in Oklahoma, the law does not require us to register our firearms. So, there's no telling, who it
Whose
would
gun
have.
it is?
Right. It's scared silly. I don't know if they ran the license plate or not. I would presume that they did on a suspicious vehicle, but I mean, they didn't even find a live dog in it. So,
No telling what they really did.
yeah. And then, after they looked at it, here's the part Sky's going to really know about because she just spoke about this. They found $32,000 in cash stuffed under the driver's seat. It was puzzling as the family was on disability benefits at the time. Was it to buy the land or something more sinister like drug dealing? Now, this is going to piss me off, okay? Number one. Oh, here I go. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get a phone call right after this show from one of my buddies that still works. He's going to say, "Mike, you're going to do this to us? Really?" Okay, so I'm going to do it. Why do investigators, law enforcement, and all them always take the opportunity to somebody that's having a hard time to try to try to inflate the situation and say, well, they was on disability. They shouldn't have had $32,000. And if they did, well, they had to be doing something illegal to be able to get that much money, like selling drugs or doing drugs. So they automatically have to be bad people because they're on disability and they have money. So you're disabled, you have money, you're bad, bad, bad. And then they go into, and this is what they say, are they into something more sinister like drug dealing?
See,
That
I
that
think,
burns
yeah,
my butt, man.
I think that is an accusation thrown out because they want to make these people look bad. I don't think so. These people were in a hurry. Their cameras from their home caught it on camera. They were in a hurry. They wanted out of that haunted house. They were packing as fast as they possibly could. And I don't think it had anything to do with drugs. They
Me
were
neither.
they were ready to go get on that land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like it to me.
we know that they were absolutely, terrified. I mean, the husband is going to the pastor saying, "Hey, I need some blessed bullets so I can kill these demons that are living on my roof." I mean, their little girl has a best friend now, an entity that's her best friend. Family and friends are now experiencing supernatural things inside of the home. Now, I'm going to give a break to the law enforcement on this. I know that they do not follow supernatural. That's not something they report on
Right.
because, you know,
Right. And if there is something supernatural, they're usually told not to report it. Talk
right.
about it,
And
write it in the reports. Is that
yeah,
not right, Mike?
yeah. And they're going to tell you that if there's something
Yeah,
supernatural, that you need to find an explanation for it other than, supernatural.
supernatural.
Right.
Uh, so, okay. Y'all know I'm going to get in trouble right here. Herbert, I want to see your comment after I go down this road. I'm going to see what happens here. I'm going to poke the bear a little bit. Are y'all ready? So they're already painting this family as a bad family. They're disabled. They had a large amount of money. They had to obtain that money illegally because they're disabled people. They're, drug dealers, So they're starting to paint this family as a bad looking family. Why would you paint a family as a bad looking family? That's what you have to ask yourself. And the reason being is this is a sad part. People don't miss bad people, people miss good people.
Right. Don't worry about
So
them. They were bad people. They were doing drugs. Don't worry about them.
save the taxpayers' money.
Right.
Yeah, that's
That,
messed up.
that's how they try to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they go down, and this is going to really piss me off right here too, because not only have they painted the family as this bad family, they have to go and release this to the public to further damage and slander, in my opinion. This is all my opinion tonight. The family. This is what the investigators released. Investigators found an 11-page hate letter from Cheryl Lynn to Bobby in the truck. In it, she said Bobby didn't care about his daughter. She listed all the things she hated about Bobby, including that he was a loner and he was a hermit. And she wrote that she wanted a divorce. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate on that, Herbert, and I'm going to say that this is probably either a letter that she wrote in a time that she was frustrated or mad. Everybody's been there. And what I would argue on this is they do have a letter, but I don't see anything with any threats, intent to do harm, and I also do not see a date as to know when it was written. This could have been written 10 years ago prior to it, and because they're packing to move out to this land, this letter was in what they was moving, and this letter is not even relevant to the case because it was something that happened 10 years ago. We don't know when this was written. There's no physical threats of harm, and there's no intent, and there's no conspiracy to even do any harm. So I think this is just another step in damaging a investigation that they know was botched from the beginning. I'm going to be in trouble for that. I know I'm going to be in trouble for that. What do y'all think?
So maybe they're alluding that there could have been a murder offing. But again, I still don't think that that happened because, again, they were in a hurry. Why would you, unless one of them was thinking this and the other one wasn't. But again, they were in a hurry. They were packing. They were scared. They wanted out of that house. They were trying to find these special bullets. They were trying to get pastors or priests in the house to get rid of this demonic force. Um, it's, to me, that doesn't make sense that they would go down that road.
I
Me
agree.
either.
You think so, Amanda?
Yeah, I agree with you. Mhm.
Okay. Uh, I mean, it just doesn't, they were being discredited, exactly.
Yeah, a lot.
And why? Because, you
Because they're
know,
low income people.
right, right. And they don't want the investigation to look like, or the police department to look bad. But
Exactly.
sometimes when they can't figure things out, they just, who do they blame? I mean, look at the Ramsey case. I mean, my God, they blamed the parents for years and years and years, and then they were eliminated, and
Yeah.
because the police department had made so many mistakes in the very, very beginning.
Yep.
And that's not a reflection on the whole department. It could just be like the investigator and the whole team is having to take the blunt force of this. And it could have just been one or two bad apples in the bunch.
True.
I'm not saying the police department's the whole team is bad.
Right. You know, it's sad, but it's easier that if you're going to make a mistake, then make a mistake on somebody that it didn't matter anyways because they were a bad person, right?
Right. And they were poor, and
Right.
maybe they didn't have a lot of family that could defend them, or didn't have the resources to go after them.
Well, we all know, and Herbert, I'm not knocking what you done, but in my opinion, our court system has become weaponized, and the justice you get is the justice that you can afford. That's just
Definitely.
my opinion.
Definitely.
That
For
is an
sure.
opinion.
That's my opinion too.
Yeah.
So during their initial investigation, the police found no signs of a struggle either in the vehicle or on the soft ground around the truck. There was no blood or broken glass, although rubbish was strewn around the truck. That to me doesn't mean anything. I mean, I can get out of my truck down there going hunting and walk around it in the mud, and I'm going to disturb the mud around my truck. So,
Right. Or they could have had things like water bottles or snacks
right,
and food because, again, they've got a little girl with them, and maybe it fell off the truck. I mean, that really
right.
does still, again, that doesn't mean much to me.
And exactly what Herbert just said. If you want to keep your job, drop it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, that's 100%.
Said by a smart man.
absolutely. So let's take a look at what I get more into as an investigator and what really starts getting me interested into this case. And I know that y'all are probably going to like this part. We're going to start talking about the discovery of the remains and some of the things that just didn't add up. There was some other things happening that just doesn't make sense. But when you go down and you really open this case up, because we're going to talk about some things I haven't seen anybody talk about in this case. And yes, Sunshine, I'm going to do my best to answer your question about the little girl and the flowers. We will get into that. I know that's something that she has gotten on to me for a while about. She wanted me to deep dive that. And I did this time. I did. So on November 16th, 2013, just 2.7 miles from where the truck was located, deer hunters discovered the skeletal remains of two adults and one child. They were in the Smokestack Hollow area of Panola Mountain. The location was extremely remote, and the three bodies were severely decomposed. The remains consisted of three skulls, several bones, and bone fragments, the victim's shoes, and some scraps of clothing. So, here we go again. 16 cadaver teams, a drone,
Drone.
search teams,
Yep.
huge search area, horses, mules, ATVs,
The whole shebang.
and they
Didn't find anything.
couldn't find them.
For how many years?
Yeah, 2009 to 13,
Yeah.
Dang.
4 years.
Yep.
Now, whenever you pull up the forensic testing on this, the forensic testing confirmed 8 months later that the remains were Bobby Sherlin and their baby girl Madison. It had been 4 years since the Jamisons had vanished from the truck. Now, when questioned why the initial searches had found nothing despite their size, I better be good here. Okay. An assistant special agent of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation told reports that falling leaves had potentially obscured the bodies.
Wow.
Not that they were remote or anything. And another thing is they were found 3 miles as the crow flies, 7 miles away from their truck. Exactly parallel from the truck.
Mhm. And they couldn't find them because leaves covered them up. I don't think leaves affect cadaver dogs. I mean,
They don't.
didn't dogs find
Doesn't
people under the towers, way down in there?
Yes.
they find them under
They can
layers
find them
and layers of
underground.
snow?
They can
Yeah,
find them underground.
6 feet under snow in the water.
Yep.
So, Sky, are we going to have to take a trip to Panola, Oklahoma? I don't know.
I think so.
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
I think we should go where the truck was and where the
Uh-huh.
bodies were found.
I think we should too.
Mm-hmm.
So, when questioned why the initial searches had found nothing despite their size, again, the special agent put in his report, this is in his report, falling leaves potentially obscured the bodies. Let me ask you all a question. If I go lay out in the yard, I'm just going to ask a question, guys. I'm just asking. So if I go lay out in the yard and sky in the fall covers me with leaves, could you not walk through the yard or through the woods and look at those leaves and say, there's something under those leaves over there?
Exactly.
Your dog will find you.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
A dog, any dog could find you.
It's almost asinine. I mean, really? You're going to put that in a federal report at that?
Jeez.
So, okay. So
Hi.
due to the extensive decomposition that had occurred in the 4 years since the disappearance of them, it was deemed impossible to determine the cause of death. However, one of the skulls had a small hole in it that was initially suspected of being caused by a gunshot. Later, the police dropped this line of inquiry, but the hunters who found the bodies, the hunters disagreed with the police. The hunters are arguing with the police. They're saying this is not a gunshot. That's not what this is. So,
Well, and at this point, we're going to go with what the hunters say because the credibility has just been kind of blown out of the
yeah.
water, don't you think?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm a hunter, and I can look at something and pretty much tell that a bullet do that, or you know.
And I think most hunters could be able to
Oh
tell.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Definitely.
I think so. So this is where it gets even maybe more frustrating. So investigations. The local sheriff's department and the FBI agents spent months. They spent months, guys, chasing down leads and questioning potential suspects. But all potential leads came to a dead end. The police found surveillance video footage from outside of the Jamisons' home. Here we go. The video shows Bobby and Cheryl Lynn walking back and forth around 20 times to their house and to their truck. They're loading items into their truck in almost a zombie-like trance. Sometimes they weren't even carrying anything at all. At times, they stopped and stood with vacant looks on their faces, staring into the sky above their home. I want to let you and Amanda tackle that one, and then I'll give you my opinion.
I think that, well, the husband was talking about how he felt like there were demons on the roof. So they probably were not in a real talkative mood, considering they felt that their house was haunted and they wanted out of there. I don't think, they want to get the heck out of there. You want to get the heck out of Dodge, you're going to pack up and you're going to get in the car and go. I mean, why even bring that up is my question. I just thought that was odd. I think they were trying to insinuate that they were maybe not all there and possibly on some substances. That's my guess, but who knows?
That's what I was thinking too, Sky. If they're if they're looking up towards the sky and stuff, like
Hmm.
just out of it, that's what the cops would assume now. And also with the whole money thing, they would assume, oh yeah, they're just on drugs.
Right. And Mike, did you bring up earlier, and I apologize for I was
You're
gone there for a minute. Did you bring up the fact that the police also put in the report that Sherilyn was half Native American and there was, I guess, a helper, somebody helping work on the property that was a white supremacist. And Sherilyn, I believe, had shot at him, trying to get him off the property because of some racist comments.
that was in the report. Yeah.
Right.
Bobby even suspected that she was having an affair with him, even at one point. Uh, it's
Interesting.
speculative, but we'll
Right.
get it.
But nobody else knew about this.
Yeah, we'll go into that because there's another gentleman that's going to come into this story too, that was also looked at as a possible suspect that was later uh, deemed that it would have been impossible for him to have done what they said he done due to his medical condition and medical state. So
Right.
yeah, I mean it's fixing to get really dark because I want to put a warning out to everybody. It's fixing to get a little heavier as we go into this. So, hey Tim, good to see you. Oh, he's got to take off. We'll see you in a little bit. Uh, so I pulled up the autopsy. The autopsy of all three victims really do not present anything, in my opinion, that is usable. The autopsies are very vague. The autopsies, and out of respect for the family, I'm not going to go into everything, guys. It's not important, and there's no sense in rehashing the ugly if it's not relevant. So I'm going to go over this as briefly as I can and try to summarize this to where you all understand what I'm saying without disrespecting the family or the child. Uh, the bodies were discovered under a tree canopy with a lot of leaves. The bodies were badly decomposed. They had no soft tissue present, so you're looking at only skeletal remains. Uh, they had significant animal predation. Uh, they had been consumed by the local wildlife. That's the better way to put it. The cause of death could not be determined, and that's in the autopsies. None of the causes of death could be determined.
Does anybody know if David Politis has reported on this case?
Not that I'm aware of. Oh, my allergies
I
hit me.
Yeah, it just sounds an awful lot like a missing 411 case.
Yeah, it does.
I think, Sky, later, this would be a place to visit the location of the bodies, and I would also like to go look at the house.
Right. I wonder if it's still there.
It is. I found it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still there.
That's scary.
Yeah. So here's what the police department and everybody released. They did not release one opinion as to what happened. They released several. So we're going to look at these and we're going to see if we agree with any of their speculative press releases. So initially, Sheriff Beechjamp had thought that foul play was involved. That'd be my guess. But he left the service, and the incoming sheriff, Jesse James, told the press, when asked about the line of inquiry about the case, was following. It is a very strange deal, you know, the way this case is unfolded. We're looking into a lot of things. A lot of things have crossed my mind. Sorry. Later, after leaving the police force, Buchamp said, normally, you can go through an investigation. One by one, start to eliminate certain scenarios. We haven't been able to do that in this case. With this family, everything seems possible. Now, here's the part I want y'all to listen to. It's almost like somebody doesn't want it solved. Is he throwing us a bone in that statement? It's almost like somebody doesn't want it solved.
Sounds like it.
Did we lose Sky?
Yep, I think so.
Uh-oh. She'll be back because we're fixing to get into the really good part. So whenever you say it's almost like, there she is. Can you hear us, Sky?
I can now. I apologize. I couldn't hear you, so I had to
Oh,
leave and come back. So
you're
that was
okay.
strange.
So is that throwing us a bone, do you think? That he says it's almost like somebody didn't want us to solve it?
Yes.
I just think the whole thing is so strange. And I think the police are trying to throw everything off. They're trying to make it look like it was a drug deal gone bad or some sort of offing,
Mm-hmm. Or they were mentally ill and
right?
right.
There was some sort of something to do with it was their fault because
Right.
of substances and problems and mental illness and things like that. But I think that there was something else going on, possibly.
So if you go over here, I'm going to give y'all their first initial. This is what they're saying. It's an open case. It's not a closed case. We're going to get to that, Sunshine. It's coming up. Here we go. As they say, here we go. We're getting down to the nit and gritty now. So one of their explanations was lost in the woods, guys. Perhaps the Jamison family decided to go for a quick hike in the woods and lost their way and died from hypothermia. The trouble with this theory is that the bodies were found lined up side by side with their faces down. It looked like they had been executioned. They were also found 3 miles from their truck, and given Bobby's back problems, it was unlikely he would have wanted to walk in the hills and the terrain, considering his disability. What do y'all think of that one?
That is so weird. Gosh, this story just side by side, face down.
Yeah, that's very odd. And they didn't have any gunshot wounds?
Well, no,
Okay.
not officially. No,
Okay.
I have to say I have to say officially
because that
because
sounds like
it's not in the death certificate. So unofficially, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So murder suicide was another one they threw out there. Cheryl Lynn was known to own a .22 caliber pistol that she carried with her in the truck. Now, the coroner found a small hole in Bobby's skull that might have been from a bullet, but neither Sherilyn nor Madison had any gunshot evidence. The gun has never been found. And if Sherilyn had used it to kill her family and then shot herself, we still haven't found the weapon, and it has not been located. Perhaps it was removed by someone else who came across it. That's another one that they threw out there. Are y'all buying that one?
No,
So
Why not? Why are y'all
Be-
not buying that one?
because no way somebody's going to come by and pick up a gun and not report bodies. And even if it was somebody, they're going to line them up with the little girl. I just can't see that.
and I thought the gun was in the truck.
No. The gun was normally kept in the truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was missing and has
And they're going to
not been
walk
located
7 miles to do that
Yeah.
with the bad back.
with a
Yeah, I
bad
don't
back
think so.
and a little girl with, very limited water, if any at all, because everything was left in the truck besides their cell phones. So, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Not at all.
No.
And what Herbert just said, Native Americans do believe that if you lay a person face down, that their spirit will not rest.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay, so here's another one they dropped, guys. The Jamisons were members of a satanic cult. Sherilyn's mother, Connie, claims her daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter were on the Oklahoma cult hit list. That part of the Oklahoma is known for that, cults and stuff like that. From what I've been told and from what I've read, I was told around the time of Sherilyn's disappearance that she was on a cult's hit list. Connie didn't provide the name of the alleged cult, nor have police found any links to any cults in the area. Are you aware of any cults in that area, Sky?
No.
I've
I think
never heard of any down there either. My location there is, but I've
cow
never heard of any
mutilations
down there.
get blamed on that all the time. I
Really?
think
on
it's a
cults
scapegoat that they use.
when
Right.
they don't know what happened.
Right.
So they have to blame it on something.
When all else fails, blame it on the cult.
Yep.
Right.
So here's another one. It was a drug deal went wrong. I believe this is the one that they really wanted to push. The area of Oklahoma where the Jamison family lived, as well as the area they were hoping to move into, the Sandboy Mountains, is well known for its drug activity. Namely, the M Labs involving the drug, you know what, the M word. Bobby had recently reported someone in the local area for running one. So Bobby actually reported somebody for manufacturing this illegal drug, and the police are trying to say that Bobby was doing it. Now, that does not make sense. If you know how those things work and the community and that stuff and all that, they don't turn each other in because, well, you've all heard about narcs and snitches, right? That's not a good thing. They don't do that.
Exactly.
Now, my thing is, and you go back and you look at the police report, right? Out of my experiences working, out of talking to other investigators, talking to other police officers that I know, if Bobby would have been doing that or a user of that, right? They searched his vehicle and they searched his home, and they didn't find any of the illegal drugs, and they did not even find paraphernalia. To me,
That's your
that
answer.
throws it out the window.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Not
Because
even in the house, not in the car, not around the
no,
bodies. Then
Yeah.
none.
no.
Because if they were
Not
using, they had all that stuff around
right,
them.
right. Not even paraphernalia, guys. There wasn't
Yeah.
even paraphernalia.
Yeah,
No
that doesn't make
pipes,
any
no
sense.
nothing. So I'm just gonna go out and say I'm not even gonna look at that now as a possibility. I do not believe that was a factor in this case, and I think that was just a scapegoat. And I'm going to say that I do not believe drugs was part of that. I'm just going to go out and say that I don't believe it was part of that.
I agree. I do. I 100% agree with that. There's
So
just
do
no
I.
way. If there's no evidence, then why even put it in the report? Why even bring it up?
Exactly.
Right. But they even came out and said, well, drug abuse could also explain the couple's erratic behavior. One theory is that Jamisons came upon illegal drug activity, saw more than they were supposed to, and were unalive to keep them quiet. But why didn't the dealer search the truck and take $32,000 in cash, right? So
Exactly.
whenever they searched the truck again, I went back and made sure I pulled the reports just to make sure, and it states, but after the search of the house, police found no evidence that they were taking meth or any other illegal substances. There was no drug-related paraphernalia in the home, illegal drugs, or even prescribed drugs that were considered, uh, that were considered to be used in any kind of means to reach a high. So they didn't even have prescription drugs in the home that were a controlled substance. So there was nothing there. There was absolutely nothing there. So why would and I'm just asking the question, I'm not slamming anybody, I'm just asking a question. Why would a law enforcement entity release a statement like that stating they believe drugs was part of this when you don't even have any tangible evidence of that even happening?
Hey, Charity, I agree. I think the behavior was a little odd in the video when they were packing up, but they thought that their house was haunted. And this was definitely verified by like two or three friends who also witnessed paranormal activity in the home, and they wanted out of there. They took that money, they packed up and they left. I think they were scared, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they sound like they were scared.
So
Yeah.
let me throw this out there to you, Amanda and Sky, and see what you think about this. So a lot of people were saying that their behavior wasn't normal, and they were staring at the sky. And I'll agree, it wasn't normal behavior, but to justify their behavior, I'm going to attempt to make sense of it. Okay, I'm going to lay my case out on this part. So if somebody sees something, they're hallucinating off of a drug, another person beside you isn't going to see the same thing you're seeing, okay? Because it is a hallucination that is happening inside of your own mind, right?
True. Yeah.
But whenever you have two people or even more that corroborate what you're seeing, you're not going to have the same hallucination, anyways. And then, in my opinion, you take out the drugs anyways, because I don't believe they were doing drugs. There's no proof of it. There's no tangible proof of it. You have two people that are not under the influence of a controlled substance witnessing something, I love this word, abnormal, together, corroborating each other's story. To me, that lays a foundation and a substance to the story that there was definitely something at their home they did not understand what it was, and they were in fear of, and they were trying to get the hell out of there. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Mike.
Did we lose Sky? Did I run her off?
We lost Sky again.
But I mean, it just, now if they would have searched the house and they would have came out and said, oh yeah, we found this and we found that and we found this and we found that, then I would say, okay, maybe they
We're high.
yeah, maybe they were seeing some things, right?
Yeah.
But still, I would argue them seeing the same thing, right? I still don't think that they would still hallucinate and see the same thing. I think it would still be different. So, but I honestly, I don't believe illegal drugs or any kind of a illegal controlled substance was even involved in this. I think that they were actually experiencing an actual event. I wish we knew what that event was, but I do believe they were experiencing something.
They were seeing something.
Right. And I think they were seeing it at the same time. I think they were, I mean, imagine you're living in a house and you got demons on your roof, and other reports of family and friends, there was stuff inside of the home. The little girl has a best friend of this entity. You're trying to pack up and get out of there, and you look at your house as you're trying to get out of there. Maybe these things are upset because you're trying to leave. They don't want you to leave, and maybe they're on top of the house yelling at you. Maybe they're walking, whistling, whatever they may be doing. Or what if they're looking up at the second story of their home because these things are flashing the lights in the house or shadows by the windows? We don't know what they were looking at, but you can tell by the video they were definitely looking at something that was terrifying them. I mean, they were trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
So, but again, to be able to say that it was a controlled substance that was used, or that they may have been misusing or illegally using, that caused this, I believe, is not indicative or supportive to the case, because there is no evidence to even say it was there. I mean, there's nothing there, in my opinion, to even suspect that they were doing that. I don't even think there is suspicion. What do you think, Herbert? I'd be glad to see his opinion. My personal opinion as an investigator, I don't even believe there's enough there to have reasonable suspicion to believe that they were even involved in illegal drug use. That's my opinion.
That's my opinion too.
We'll see what Herbert says, but that's what I think. I mean, there's nothing there. There's nothing tangible to support any allegation or any accusation to say that happened. Right.
No pipe or anything.
Nothing. Oh well, Sonia, that's scary too. But again, when they searched the home, Sonia, they still didn't find anything. Yeah, Herbert says no evidence. That I believe that Herbert. That's what was pushed down my throat in school, Herbert, when I first went through my investigative school, is if you don't have tangible evidence, all you have is allegations and, accusations. You don't have nothing. I mean, if you can't prove, you can't prove it that it happened, you don't have anything. I mean,
without evidence, you have nothing.
Right, because I can make up anything I wanted to about Amanda. I could say, I saw Amanda out there in California, and she was robbing the casinos, and she's got millions of dollars.
Yeah, I wish. not robbing the casinos, but millions of dollars. Yes.
Right. Oh, Sonia, thank you very much. I didn't know that, because I am going to look into that, Sonia. I appreciate that. I love getting that kind of information from you guys. You guys are smart. I really do enjoy that. So it might be a little bit before she comes back. So let's go ahead and let's jump to the next one just a little bit. So Bobby's dad killed the family. This is another thing that they put out as a possible cause for all this. So Bobby's dad killed the family. The family had filed a protective order against Bobby's dad, Bob Dean Jamison, Bob Dean Jamison, claiming that he had threatened to kill them over some business dealings in the protective order filed on April 9th. Yeah, the protective order was filed April 9th. Bobby alleged that his father had intentionally hit him with his car on November 1st, 2008, and that he was a very dangerous man who he thinks is above the law, and that he was involved in a prostitution gang that dealt with, again, the M word. Again, why are they pushing illegal drugs? They're trying to smear the family.
What the dad does has nothing to do with what the son does.
Well, they're trying to say that the dad unalived the son and his family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're trying to link him to it. And are you there, Sky? Maybe.
She's
Yes, I'm
muted.
here. I'm sorry.
What do you think? It's starting to aggravate me when I see
I
what they're
know.
trying to push so hard.
I know. It's like, well, if you don't believe this angle, then believe this angle.
Right,
If you don't like this way, well, then what about this way? Just don't, just don't get any ideas of your own. Just listen to us, and we'll tell you. We'll
right,
tell you what to think. Okay?
right. When I want your opinion, I'll give you one.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. But, before his death, Bob Dean had a long running feud with his son. It came to legal action when Bobby accused his father of going back on an agreement to give him half the proceeds from selling a gas station he owned. That's scary that they owned a gas station and involved in all this. My God, that's like a horror movie. Bob used to get Bobby to work at the gas station. Oh my God, he drove the the freaking tow truck and all. Oh my God, does that not give you chills to know that stuff's real?
That's scary. That's like a
At these,
true scary movie.
yeah, there you go, Sky. Uh, Bob used to get Bobby to work at the gas station, and he would man the tow truck. Amanda, there you go. You break down on the side of the road. Who's coming to get you?
Bobby.
Yeah. So Bobby's father died 2 months after the family went missing. Uh, December 2009, at the age of 64. Bobby's uncle, Jack Jamison, said Bobby's dad was either in a hospital or in a rest home at the time of the disappearance, and that he was a disturbed individual but not capable of unaliving them medically or physically. Even if he didn't commit the unaliving himself, they said he could have paid somebody to do it. This was investigated thoroughly. And Bobby Dean said he had a solid alibi, dismissed him as a person of interest because he had not spent any money and there was no links that led. I don't believe that either. I don't believe the dad did that. I just don't
I
believe
don't
that.
either. If he
Sorry,
was in
guys.
a nursing home.
What's up?
I'm sorry, guys. I got an Amber Alert that threw me off.
Oh, you're okay. You're fine.
Oh, that was
We're
rough.
we're,
Anyway,
we're
no. Well,
fixing to.
the dad and
Yeah.
the brother or the son owned the gas station together, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he wasn't being paid because the gas station was supposed to go to him when dad died. It sounds like dad and son had a perfectly good relationship. But the fact that they're bringing up the whole M word again is because I feel like they're just trying to throw you off.
Well, we're going to talk about the thing that I think you're going to have a lot of information on. It sounds like this is what you looked at. So here's another point that's going to frustrate you guys: the white supremacist theory. Before the Jamisons' disappearance, a handyman and family friend called Kenneth Bellows. He stayed with the family. In August 2009, upon finding out that Cheryl Lynn had Native American heritage, Bellows' white supremacist leanings were uncovered. Arguments between the two broke out that resulted in Cheryl Lynn firing a .22 caliber pistol into the ground by his feet. Cheryl Lynn pointed the gun at him and forced him to leave the house. So, what do you think about that, ladies?
I think that she had every right to do that.
So are you talking about the white supremacy part?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I keep getting thrown off of here. Tonight is just not my night. Uh, yeah. So no, again, I don't think that has anything to do with it because there's no evidence of that man being down there
Yeah.
in the mountains at that time. I'm sure he was interviewed very thoroughly and checked where his whereabouts were. Um, yes, he was a white supremacist, but I mean, he could have offed them at home or at the truck or close by, not 7 miles away from the truck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you also think that
And then how would he
if
do that if there's no wounds
right
to
and if Cheryl Lynn was a murderer, wouldn't she have unalived him at that point instead of waiting? I mean, she had the prime opportunity to do it legally. She could have said that he was attacking her.
absolutely. But then how did she off herself and her daughter?
I don't believe she did. That's going to be my theory at the end. I don't believe she did. Um, so the man in the police report, he had a solid alibi. So police dismissed him as a suspect, but at least the possibility that he had connections, and he was a white supremacist. They found out that he was, but he had no prior record. Charlene's name was on a hit list. They said that was all bogus. That was just a made up story. Now, perhaps the family was kidnapped, so the kidnapper or kidnappers could get to Madison. This is so asinine that I can't even believe they would throw that out as an actual theory. I mean, yeah, you could throw out an overabundance of information on something to try to cause people to look at a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter to try to hide things. If you want to make something hard to find, or if you want to, if you want to keep people from looking into it, you throw out a whole bunch of information that doesn't mean anything with the truth. So when the police examined Bobby's phone from the truck, okay, I'm going to have to do a warning here to everybody. Okay, we're going to show some disturbing photos here in a second. If you have a soft heart, I would recommend that you not watch this part of the show coming up. This is just a hard part of the show, and it's not going to be easy. When the police examined Bobby's phone from the truck, they found a final picture of Madison on the mountain. Friends and family believe Madison's parents did not take it. In the picture, Madison is looking away from the camera. She looks unhappy, and she has her arms crossed. If that had been Bobby or Cheryl Lynn behind the camera, she would not have looked like that. It is debatable whether she was really unhappy enough to determine whether the photo actually proves anything. So I have that photo. I want to show it to you guys. It is disturbing. It's hard to look at. She, in my opinion, is a very unhappy little girl at this point. I believe that she's afraid. And I think that she's looking at the camera that has been held by the person that would eventually take her life. It's my opinion. Of
That's horrible.
course, I cannot prove that, but my opinion is this is the last photo that was taken of this little girl while she was alive. Now, this is the hard parts of the job, is looking at children. that have lost their lives to evil, unnecessary acts.
She looks way younger than 11 to me.
Yeah. And I could be wrong. I need to recheck that. I could be wrong on that, on the age. So if anybody wants to recheck that, yeah, I could be wrong on that.
She
Did you
just
say she was
because her
6?
her teeth
I,
are missing.
I thought 11, so I'm probably wrong. If anybody wants
Yeah,
to
I
take
think
a look at it,
she's 6 years old at the
is
time
Yeah,
it
of her
6?
6
disappearance.
or 7 because she's missing her 2 front teeth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to paint a picture for you guys. These are things that I learned as an investigator. These are the parts of the job you don't like doing unless you're able to find closure or to find the bastard that did it. I get really aggravated. So when you're looking at this photo, you try to put yourself in that little girl's mindset at that point in time. She is looking at something she's not very happy with, that she's afraid of. Uh, Thank you, Sunshine. She says she was sick. Sunshine, would you concur if I were to say that I am not a professional, guys? This is my opinion based on what I have seen, investigated, and asked other investigators about. This is just from my experience as working. When a young child, it doesn't have to be a child, but when a young child crosses their arms like she has in this photo as you're looking at right now, it signals a defensive posture. It is an anxious, self-protecting posture. She's emotionally pulling herself in. She's afraid, and she's not happy at this moment. It indicates a frustration and a possible resistance to demands that she does not want to do, but feels that she is forced to do because she's a child and possibly an adult is making her take this photo. That's very disturbing. It bothers me a lot.
Scared silly,
Yeah,
I see that too. I
that
was just
is
looking at that.
that is a sad. Or it looks like she's holding herself because she's scared.
That would be my opinion of that photograph. Um,
Well, and she's seen her mom and dad so scared leaving the house.
Yeah.
my question at this point, I'll save
She's
it
a
for the end.
darling little girl.
Yes. Look how blonde her hair is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's a blondie.
she's a beautiful girl. A girl that shouldn't have had happen to her what did happen to her.
Right. Should still be alive.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, guys, I think we've looked at that enough. Let me pull that off. There we go. So, when the police examined Bobby's phone from the truck, they found her final picture, Madison's final moments of life. The police looked at it and said there was not enough in the photographs to determine anything that they would be able to use in prosecuting or court of law. I will 100% disagree with that statement. I believe that under the proper conditions, with the proper evidence and the proper professional testifying, I believe that picture could hold a lot of weight in a court of law. That would be my opinion. Witchcraft and possession. The family's pastor, Gary Brandon, told police during the initial investigation that the family had been involved in spiritual warfare and that Bobby and Sherilyn had told him they had seen spirits in their home. Sherilyn said the spirits of a long dead family member was living with them, and that Bobby, and this is very important, guys, pay attention to this part, Bobby and Sherilyn were asking for an exorcism to be performed. At one point, Bobby asked Gary whether he could obtain the special bullets to shoot the demons off of his roof. He later had consulted and let him know that he was consulting a satanic Bible to rid the property of the evil presence. After their disappearance, a witch Bible was found in the house. There was also a witch Bible. Then strange messages were found written on the side of the container we discussed earlier, the one they had planned to move and reside in together. Witches don't like their black cats killed. Charlotte's neighbors had been poisoning their cats, so she wrote on the container to scare them off. An abandoned wreck or a vehicle was found near where the family's truck was found. And I want to go over that again to so y'all understand what I'm talking about. There was an abandoned vehicle that had been wrecked that was found in the vicinity of the vehicle that they had drove out there and had abandoned. The vehicle had been shot, and it also had satanic messages written on that vehicle, which was supposedly prominent to that area. So,
Herbert wants to know what faith they were.
I presume they were Baptist because they spoke to a Baptist preacher, which they called their pastor. That would be what I would
Okay.
presume.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So, do y'all have anything you want to add before I go into what I found extra out of this case that's not spoken about?
I don't.
Not really, because it just takes so many turns that it's, you know what? And I made a mistake at the beginning because I said that they took their phones out of the car and used them, which they did, but it sounds like they put them back before they walked off or
Yeah.
whatever happened to them.
Did they find their phones in the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All of their belongings were in the car, including the cash.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So okay. Because I thought that, which wouldn't have made sense. So I'm not sure why I would say that. But so that's interesting. So they took the phone out and then
Took
they
a
put it back
pictures.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a picture. Exactly, Amanda.
And then put it back in the car. That doesn't make any sense.
With,
And left the 32,000 cash.
and
Exactly.
they left the truck locked
And
with
everything.
the engine running. Wasn't the engine running?
Did not see that part. It could have been though.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it wasn't.
The
Could have
And
been.
keys were in
the
it,
only reason
right?
why I ask is because the keys were in the ignition,
Yeah,
I
the
believe.
keys were in the ignition, I thought.
Okay.
Yes, that the keys were in the ignition. That's true.
Yeah.
So a normal person would think that they were just going to maybe
Go pee or something.
nature call or yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yep.
Amanda. Or go look at another spot of the property because they're like, oh well, what if we put our, our camper
House
or whatever
here.
they house here? Let's go look at this angle. Something
Yeah.
short.
But not far like they went.
Right.
Boy, my my in show synopsis is really going to throw y'all off.
No, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah,
You're
me
going to think
too.
y'all are going to think
Yeah.
I'm really out there. So I went beyond the story like I do in a lot of these. I wanted to emphasize on either things that were not spoke about enough or things that have not been spoke about in the case. So I took a deeper dive. Okay. So this is where it really starts to take a change. So flowers were found near Madison's skeletal remains. Now, the flowers that were found near her remains were reportedly placed there. Rather than being wild flowers, these were plastic flowers that would have been purchased, that were new, that were placed by her remains. The intentional placement of flowers suggests a level of consideration or ritual that is not fully understood. So when I went down further, I'm just going to go ahead, guys. I'm going to end it with my theory, what I found, and then I'm going to move to the ladies and let them tell you what they think. And they may think totally different than me. So here we go, guys. Here's my argument for this story. Here we go, Herbert Sunshine. So finding the flowers at the I'm going to call it a murder site because she was murdered at the murder site suggests a level of consideration of a ritual. Flowers are often used in rituals for their symbolic meanings. For example, they could symbolize reverence, purity, or even a special deity, a small g god, if you will. Now, the skeletal remains of the Jamison family were found side by side, laying face down in the shallow grave, which some speculate could indicate a sinister or ritualistic act. Ritualistic or symbolic markings near the scene of the Jamison families were found. There were symbolic items placed around the bodies that are not and have not been released by the investigators. So we do know there was symbolic items placed around the bodies, but they have not released what they were. Jamisons might have been involved in ritual or dark practices that led to the deaths of the wife and daughter. Now, the investigation found that Madison and her mother had severe injuries, including evidence of throat wounds. The exact nature of these injuries were determined through forensic analysis of the skeletal remains. While the decomposition of the condition of the bodies presented challenges, forensic experts were able to identify trauma consistent with a sharp force injuries to the neck, indicating that their throats were probably sliced, that they were not shot. Yet, John Jamison's remains were also found, and it's believed that he died under similar circumstances, except his skull was the one that possibly had the hole in it. He would have been harder to handle than two women, right? The dog was indeed locked in the truck and reportedly ate its own feces to survive. The detail highlights the dog's extreme situation and likely prolonged period that it was trapped to be able to eat its own fecal matter to be able to exist and to sustain life. So, my argument for the case would be, and my possible scenario that I believe that possibly could have happened is, you notice throughout this investigation, a lot of things I told y'all to keep paying attention to were the fact that Sherilyn and Bobby kept going to the Reverend saying, we need an exorcism performed. When you go back and you read over those reports, it's always just Sherilyn and Bobby wanting the exorcism done. Bobby and Sherilyn make it clear that their daughter has a friend named Emily that is a entity of the home that later, after discussing things, it is a dead past relative, which I believe that, demons take the form of our loved ones to be able to deceive us and to gain our trust. There was a lot of evil going on in that house. So we know that Bobby somehow obtained a satanic Bible. It's alleged that the cult and Satanism is high in that area. In order to obtain a witch's book, a satanic book, I would speculate, and I know this isn't court, so we can speculate. I would speculate that he had contact with such individuals that would be able to get that kind of material for him, which would suggest to me that they were probably practicing the dark arts with these satanic people around their area. Now, however, I do believe a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl, if you're in one of these dark cults, I believe that she may have been sacrificed in a satanic ritual. I believe that there is a possibility, based on my opinion, that they got engaged with this dark people in the area. They decided that they was going to use their daughter as a sacrifice because in their beliefs, the closer of someone that you sacrifice, this is the more you get from the little g gods, the deities and all that. No telling what they were promised or what they thought was going to happen. But I think what happened is whenever they got out there, they took the photograph of the little girl. She was frightened and afraid, and there's no telling what she had heard, what she had seen. And I would almost speculate that there was somebody there that little girl probably knew and did not trust, because she looks like she's pretty fearful, pretty afraid, and she knew that something was wrong. the reason I think that they don't mention the little girl when they start talking about the exorcism is I believe that Bobby and Madeline, I think they were either led to believe or believed that their daughter was the one that was possessed and needed to be exorcised. And I believe that is the reason that they took her out there, was under the understanding that whoever this person was with them was going to exorcise their daughter and be able to save her. And in fact, she was never taken out there to be exorcised. She was taken out there as a sacrifice. I think whenever this started to happen, the mom, the dad, they probably was not in agreement to this. They didn't want this to happen. So the father, being the male of the group, he would have been harder to handle. I would suspect and speculate that he was the one, because the hole in the head that was actually shot unalive, because he would have been the harder of the two adults, him and his wife, to be able to handle physically. I believe after the father was unalived, that the mother and the daughter were used ritualistically. Their throats were sliced. They were unalived. And I believe, and I cannot prove this, guys, it is only my opinion, the third person that was there, and I know y'all are thinking this, it was not the white supremacist that lived in the home. I believe it was a family member or a close family, or a close family friend, because I think they have a little bit of remorse in what happened, and that's why they're bringing the flowers to the child. That would be my opinion.
That's a really good theory. Honestly, it really is. You have to wonder who these parents were mingling with to be able to get a satanic Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you even get something like that? I mean, is that something you can order off of Amazon? Or, I mean,
Probably nowadays.
maybe. Sorry, my dog. Um, very interesting.
I think that sounds plausible, Mike. I think that all that, what you said, sounds like exactly what happened to that family.
I'm on the fence. I think that that's a very good theory, and I think that that's very possible, and it sounds like the most logical thing that would have happened to these people
Yeah.
because of all the strange things going on, and especially with the parents scared that their daughter was friends with this possible ghost, um, and they thought maybe, um, let's get let's get with these people, and let's get, the pastor's not working, let's get with these other people who can help, and
And
things
they,
just went really wrong.
yep.
And I would even go as far as to factor in that there was demons there, and there was possibly a possession in the adults that would cause the adults to
Think it was the child.
And
right
to
to
behave this way, absolutely.
right right
Yeah.
and to blame it on the child.
Yep.
You know, I think that it's hard to speculate because I'm taught not to speculate. I think,
It's so hard
I,
not to when you don't have any answers.
yeah,
Exactly.
I think they had a little bit of a fire in their relationship as far as trouble, and they got associated with these dark people, and that just added fuel to the fire. And I think because of their depression, their multiple whatever, what was it?
Bipolar?
Yeah, bipolarism. That these entities just took advantage of it, and whenever you start bringing witchcraft books into the home, satanic Bibles, uh, they was doing rituals. What was it they said that, what was it, Sherilyn, that the mother, she really got into it, and I think, God, it's so sad, but I think Madison was a sacrifice.
Right. I mean, there was, I mean, that's a good theory because the child was talking to these spirits, and again, these parents were scared. They wanted away from these dark forces, and they wanted their daughter rid of these dark forces. Um, and they felt like this was the only way to do it because it makes you think of the case where the mother who drowned her 7 children, because she felt like they were haunted by spirits or possessed by spirits. She did the same thing.
Yeah,
She,
that was sick.
yeah. And when you've got that kind of mental illness,
Yeah,
you
it's
just
you
can't
believe
put
anything.
right. Right.
And if they already have that mental illness, would it not be easier for a spirit to deceive them, manipulate them?
Yes, way easier.
Yep.
You know, is that a place that we would like to visit physically? Let me ask it a different way, Sky. Let me ask. Sky is 4 hours away. Amanda's about 1,300 miles away.
Yeah, I'm far, far away.
Far, far
So,
away.
so I guess my question would be, Sky, is that somewhere that you think we could visit, that we could make a change? Is it worth visiting, or is this something that we're probably never going to know the full answer to?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think if you do maybe not a scientific investigation, but go around town and ask the townspeople what they think of the case. What are their opinions? What did they know? What did they hear? How do they feel about their police department back then? There's just a lot of questions.
Guy,
Yeah.
you're gonna tear the hornet nest down and kick it right down the street, huh?
I mean,
Sky's ready to go knock on doors.
I'm ready to
I'm
go knock
guessing.
on doors and be like, what did you know? You know, and I'll just go ahead and throw my theory out there real quick. Um, I think that is a probably the best theory, honestly. Mike's theory. But I also think that it's possible that they got out and they got lost and they were attacked by maybe an animal. Now, why would all 3 bodies be laying face down?
My,
That's
but
an odd one.
what about the photograph on the phone, and then the phone returned back to the vehicle, though?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
That
the
would,
weird one.
that
It's
would
so
take
strange.
an opposable thumb and also a
Yeah,
hand that would be able to operate keys to be able to put the keys in the ignition and to be able to lock the doors on a vehicle and shut them.
true.
Yeah, do you guys think that they would do something like that? Like, oh, we're gonna run out and go to the bathroom or go look at something? I mean,
And leave their stuff. Yeah, they could have.
yeah, I mean it's possible. Or did they run into some
But
bad
that
people?
far.
You
Yeah,
Well,
they
know,
might have. Right.
I think those are good theories, but also I keep going back to the autopsy report to where they proved that a sharp object had took the life of the mother and daughter. Um,
okay.
so we
Was
have
there like, okay, so usually there's a bone broken in the neck if there's something like broken, but was there
uh,
like a knife that like sliced somewhere on a bone?
the forensic pathologist wrote in his report that the daughter and the mother definitely had signs of laceration of the throat.
Okay. Then they were definitely
Yeah,
attacked.
they were definitely
And
killed.
Yes.
the father's skull, presumably at one point in time, they felt was shot with the 22 caliber because it had the 22 caliber size hole in it, and that was one of the reasons I thought, if I was going to visualize, a person trying to overpower a family out there, you got a man, his
Take
wife, and the daughter. you're
Yeah,
going
take the guy
to
out.
you're going to get rid of the guy as fast as you can. He's the
Yep.
threat. You know, you could even go further down a darker path, and you could even speculate at the time of that photo that her mom and dad were already unalived.
Right. I'm starting to read some of the comments. I believe it was murder by the cult, sharp
Uh,
objects only on 2.
Yeah. It sounds kind
Yeah.
of cultish to me.
Yeah, taking over the father with the gun would be a lot easier because, men are obviously a lot stronger and harder to overpower.
And plus the flowers being left there makes you think like somebody, regretted whatever they did, or at least felt bad a
that's
little bit, so they put flowers on there.
that's what I
Right.
think too. I think there
And
was
so
some,
much time had gone by.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
and still flowers were still being placed there
Right.
Yeah.
after 4 years. Somebody's having some regret.
Some guilt. Yeah.
So the question is why is the police trying to cover this up?
Because that's what police do.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
uh,
sorry, but it is.
there,
Not all
and
police.
we have to give
Yeah.
them the benefit of the doubt. There's a possibility that might be a small town police department. They may not have the resources to be able to investigate it like a larger town would.
Yeah,
Exactly.
true.
You know,
Not all police
they're
departments, okay?
and
Right.
y'all
Right.
have to, and we also have to take into consideration that we don't have all the information that they have. There's a lot of this that still hasn't been released because it is an open case.
Yeah.
So we don't have all the information. We don't know all the leads that they have. Um,
Right. And it sure would be helpful if we had all of it. Then we can make
oh,
Yes.
much better
absolutely.
theories.
I think at the end of the day, uh, a family lost their life. A little
Yeah.
girl that never got a chance at life lost her life. And
Exactly.
nothing good is ever going to come out of anything dark, you know? Don't dabble in that stuff. Don't mess with that stuff, Stay away
Yeah.
from it. That I think, I think cult satanic ritual, because we know how much they like knives, how much they're into blood, the blood curses, the
Yeah.
blood sacraments. I would say satanic is where I would lean with. So I guess that's pretty much all I've got for that. So what I'll do is I will let Sky give her ending thoughts on it, final thoughts, like Jerry Springer show. Then we'll go to Amanda, and then we will go ahead and wrap this one up,
You
guys.
are not the father.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you came up with the best theory with the information that we have and that we got. I think your theory is the best because I mean, how else are you where else are you going to go with this? I mean, unless it was yeah, we could say it was Dogman or Bigfoot or something like that. They were attacked by that. That's
Yeah.
always possible too, and maybe some people are thinking that's possible. Um but I'm thinking more on the lines of this was people sacrifice. Unfortunately, we don't really hear about stuff like this very often, but it actually does happen, especially in smaller towns. Um,
Yeah.
it also kind of makes me think of that case where those 2 little girls were actually offed, and they felt like the police department was part of a cult, and they try to cover up their badges at work, and
The
that's a
Delphine
whole.
murders?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a really odd one too.
Yeah, that
That
is.
that that has a lot of alleged theories on
And
cults
that
and
has a lot of
Satanism.
cult stuff. Yep.
Yes. See, it makes you think,
Well, we know there
it's
are cults out there, that's for sure.
right. And there's dark people. They get led the wrong way.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. And like you said, Mike, at the end of the day, this is a family who all lost their lives and they didn't deserve that. Just hopefully one day they can, like you said, they keep the case open.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
They need to close the case.
Witches, cults, and warlocks. Oh my,
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. And that's what I got.
All right. So what
And
about you, Amanda?
I agree with both of you. I think that exactly what you said, Mike. I think that it was a cult thing. And sadly,
Right.
3 people lost their lives because of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I think
also,
so
I want to
too.
say
Sad
hi to
story.
everybody in chat. Hi, everybody in
Yeah.
chat.
Hi, everybody.
And thanks for being here with us tonight. We hope you liked the show. And
It
God
took a
bless.
lot of it took a lot of digging, really. Tomorrow's show, hopefully you two will be able to join tomorrow. We're doing a little different, but it's going to be one that can go dark. It's going to be about the Oklahoma Bigfoot War. We're going to dive into that one.
Wow, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so it's the Choctaw Nation versus the Bigfoot, and they
I've
were
never
eating
heard
the
of that.
children. Yeah, it's a documented case. So we'll do that probably around 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It won't be as early. It'll probably be 8 o'clock. But join us tomorrow, everyone. Sky, Amanda, anything else you'd like to say before I wrap this up?
Nope, just good night to everyone and God bless.
God bless. And I'll probably be here tomorrow night. I could do 8 o'clock.
All right.
I could too.
All right, everybody. I want to thank you for being here tonight. I want you to keep the family members in your prayers. This is a very sad thing that happened.
Absolutely.
We hope to give them at least a voice, or to cause somebody to start thinking and maybe come up with something on this case.
Or maybe somebody knows something and they can report it.
Yes, if you know anything, definitely contact the Eufaula Police Department, or you can contact the FBI if you know anything. But guys, we appreciate y'all for being here so much, to support and everything. We hope you come and join us tomorrow night for another great night of diving down the rabbit hole of these cases and hopefully determining what's going on, guys. I would also like to thank all of our great moderators in the chat that do a wonderful job at keeping everything running smooth, and all the work that they do. And then also
Love you,
these
moderators.
two these two ladies that joined me tonight. I couldn't have done the show the way I done it without them. They're amazing, and we're going to keep on doing it, guys. Very welcome.
Yes.
All
be
right,
good,
guys.
Be safe, everybody.
Until next time, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night. God bless.
Good night.
Good
God
night.
bless.